Keean Bexte for Rebel News. I'm here at the Calgary International Airport, where I'm here to speak with folks who are arriving on international flights from both Seattle and Houston. I'm here today specifically to see what the process is like behind these closed doors. Behind me, you can see this is where they arrive from the international arrivals. They go through customs, and there's a process that the government says exists, and then in practice, there's a totally different process. We've been told by the Federal Minister of Health that masks are being distributed to folks who are arriving in Canada to one of the 4 designated international airports, because Canada only has 4 right now. And those people who are then connecting to a separate place will be given surgical masks.
Asymptomatic passengers are given public health advice, including the order to quarantine when they get to their final destination, along with a mask.
According to the feds, that's what's happening. We're arriving here, and just on a quick glance of the people arriving, most of them aren't wearing masks, and the ones that they are wearing are all sort of fashioned differently. Either they're homemade bandana masks, or they look completely different from one another, which means it's not the bureaucracy that's giving it to them. I'm going to go speak with a few people arriving now. The doors are opening. We'll see what they have to say. What did the federal government tell you had to do?
The government asked me to fill out a form indicating whether I felt ill or not, asking me how long I'd been out of the country, where I could be reached when I was in the country. They gave me verbal information in terms of fines that would be levied if I didn't stay in my yard.
So it is basically the same information. Be careful, self-isolate for 14 days.
Once you came to the border, what did they tell you your obligations were?
Oh, we're going to quarantine for 14 days in place in your home.
Did you come from the flight from Seattle?
No, Houston.
Houston?
Yeah.
Was there social distancing on the plane?
The plane was empty. There was 20 people on the plane.
Oh yeah, there was hardly anybody on the flight.
I came on the flight from Amsterdam, but it was like really few people traveling. Yeah, I'm glad that it was not cancelled. Like altogether, maybe 20 in the whole plane.
And only 4 of them have come out, which means that the rest of them are connecting to other points in Canada. There was actually more folks on the KLM crew that came out of these gates than there were passengers. It was unbelievable. When you come through the customs room over there, I've done it myself, there's a touch screen. Are they still using those?
Yes.
Yes.
Still using screens, yeah.
We were told that the federal government was handing out masks back there. Did you see any evidence of that?
No, there wasn't.
As the doctor has illustrated, asymptomatic passengers are given public health advice, including the order to quarantine when they get to their final destination, along with a mask.
I saw no evidence of any masks being distributed, no.
No, we brought our own masks from Hawaii.
No, I didn't see masks to be handed out.
Where are you headed?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, okay. So that's interesting, because we were told specifically that passengers who are connecting flights would get masks from the feds.
No.
Now today, from what we've been seeing on flight tracker websites, was the first day that no flights from China came to Canada. Now, a few from Hong Kong did, but that's not the same thing. It's interesting because it's completely because of a lack of demand and not because of government regulation. Justin Trudeau was late to the game at every stage of this crisis, from closing the borders to closing the border holes at Roxham Road to banning foreign nationals. He was about 2 weeks behind, and Canadians are now paying the price. Even though he's been at home with nothing to do, he still isn't able to run a country. If you want to stay up to date with everything regarding the coronavirus, the Wuhan coronavirus, you can stay up to date at rebelnews.com. For Rebel News, at the Calgary International Airport, I'm Keean Bexte. Thanks so much for checking out our coverage. If you want us to stay in the game, providing you with the other side of the story while the CBC continues to spew their fake news, be sure to go to Help Rebel News. That's our fundraising site where we are asking folks to help us stay in the game.